It's great to have you join us on the program this weekend. I'm Temple Ashaju. The just ended week was loaded with activities from the depository to the stock exchange and on the part of operators were a couple of sessions to brainstorm on the capital market development. The Purchasing Managers Index for Nigeria also came in this week, indicating an expansion in both the manufacturing and non-manufacturing sectors for the 14th and 13th consecutive months, respectively. Manufacturing PMI, according to the Central Bank of Nigeria, expanded to 56.5 points, growing at a slower pace compared to 56.9 points recorded in April, and that's due to slower increase in two components of the index: inventories, which came in at 58.7 points, and the new orders, which trickled in at 54.9 points. And moving on to the outline of the program this evening, we'll bring you highlights of the Nigerian Stock Exchange and London Stock Exchange Capital Markets Conference, where policymakers and thought leaders brainstorm on how to secure offshore investments by warding off uncertainties like political uncertainties, electioneering, and other related issues. Thereafter, we'll go to Ghana to understand the market sentiment towards the ongoing initial public offering of telecom giant MTN. But before all of this, let's look at the trading week, and we'll take off with the unlisted securities market, which is represented by the NASD OTC Securities Exchange. The unlisted securities market, USI, came in this week at 668.83 with a market capitalization of 452.62 billion naira, and that represents an increase of 0.67% on a week-on-week basis, moving from 664.38 points of the index to 668.83 this week. Volume of transactions done so far year to date, 1.02 billion, with a value of 4.92 billion naira, and total deals done so far 1,226. And just before we move on to the fixed income market, we need to remind you that the Trade Alert initiative of Trade Alert program of the NASD OTC also commenced yesterday, Friday, June the 1st of 2018. This is expected to give you detailed transaction history of all you buy and sell on that platform. And now let's move on to the fixed income markets, where this week the bearish performance of the local bond market was halted as average yield across 10 years declined on all trading sessions in the week, down 50 basis points week on week. The week started on a bullish note as average yield shared 4 basis points to close at 13% from 13.4% recorded in the previous week as a result of buying interest majorly in short-tenured instruments. But on Friday, average yield across tenors trended 2 basis points southwards to 12.9%. The performance was largely driven by renewed investor appetite for longer tenured instruments. And looking at the secondary market numbers from the FMDQ OTC Securities Exchange, a total deals of 56 and total value of all traded yesterday was 2.36 billion naira, with the 2028 security attracting more investment sentiment from offshore and domestic investors. Let's look at the Treasury bills market, where performance of the bills was mixed this week. Average rates across tenors traded higher on 2 of the 4 trading sessions as a result of the public holiday that we had on Tuesday. The week opened on a bullish note as average rate across benchmark tenors fell 34 basis points to 12.4%, all the way from 12.7% in the preceding trading session. And a look at the numbers we have there at the FMDQ OTC for the 1st of June 2018 transactions there. June 2018, June 2018, July 2018 were the major securities that investors had. They showed us what, of course, the total deals of was 686 and total value was 226.85 billion naira. Grand total, when you put the bonds and treasury bills transactions of yesterday together, you have total deals of 742 and total value of 247.21 billion naira. And moving on to the equity markets, the weak performance of the domestic bourse was sustained all through May as investors continued to sell off on market bellwethers. Now, the all-share index fell 7.7% in the month of May, and that's the largest monthly loss since January 2016. The performance was largely in line with the trend across emerging markets, where equity indices as foreign investors continue to exit the markets. Accordingly, the NSE All-Share Index declined for the sixth consecutive week, falling 6.4% week on week, while year-to-date performance turned negative and settling at the negative of 3.7%. Similarly, market capitalization fell by about a trillion naira, that's to 13.3 trillion naira. Activity levels strengthened this week despite selling activity, as average volume and value traded grew 42.1% and 82.9% to 389.3 million units and 5.9 billion naira respectively. Access Bank did 248.3 million units, but Zenith Bank had 227.5 million units. UBA had 156.6 million units. All this top traded the volume with Zenith, Guaranty Trust Bank, Access Bank, all coming ahead of other major securities. But the bearish run in the equities market extended into the 11th consecutive trading session this week, and that's the longest losing streak since July 2015, where the all-share index declined on all trading days in the week. The benchmark slid 1.0% on Monday, 0.7% on Tuesday, 1.1% on Wednesday, 1.3% on Thursday, and eventually closed Friday down 3.4%.